Well, hello, happy Wednesday. I am Heather Newman, and this is the hashtag Get Unstuck podcast, episode number 163. And today we're going to talk about unleashing the power of habit stacking so that you can live your dream life.
You're listening to the Get Unstuck podcast with business mentor, health and fitness influencer, and trainer Heather Newman. Each week, Heather provides you with tips and tools to glitter your soul and add sparkle to your life. Let's get unstuck. You are not a tree, so let's learn to move, change, and find true happiness by creating a vision and living your dreams. For blog posts, business tips, fitness training, at-home workouts, and more, subscribe to glitteru.com. Now, let's get happy. Here's your host, Heather Newman.
Well, welcome back, my beautiful friends. We are back at the hashtag Get Unstuck podcast, a podcast for all of you ladies in the second half of life who are ready to take responsibility for your own well-being and create a life that you love living. I am here to coach and motivate women just like you to look good and feel fabulous in this second half of life. I am your host, Heather Newman, and after spending the first 48 years of my life being a people pleaser and living with a scarcity mindset, I was stuck and I was ready for a change. I reinvented myself, I stopped outsourcing my happiness, and I've been brave enough to live a different kind of life. I'll be here each week to help you do the exact same thing. So let's get up, get dressed, get your sneakers on, tighten your ponytail, and let's do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and hit that little subscribe and follow button. And also, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment after the episode is over on any episodes that you watch, I would greatly appreciate that. That is how we actually get this little tiny baby podcast out to other women in the second half of life that may need to hear this little nugget too. So welcome back to another inspiring episode of hashtag Get Unstuck podcast, where we are diving into episode number 163, habit stacking. I've got to tell you that this topic is an absolute game changer, and it's all about taking your life to the next level. One of my awesome clients reached out to me recently and was asking about the concept of habit stacking. And she said, Heather, what are those daily habits of 7, DeHo 7 daily habits that you talk about? You guys know that I am a big believer in habits and how they shape our lives. So you know how they say you are what you repeatedly do? It couldn't be more accurate. So I want you to understand the power of habits in our everyday lives. Whether they're labeled good, bad, or somewhere in between, habits define who we are and where we're headed. We all have them, and they form the very fabric of our existence. So now, when I mentioned habit stacking to my client, it got me thinking about just how intentional I have gotten in this area. I cannot stress enough how much I love diving into this topic. And if you haven't already, you've got to check out the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've mentioned it a million times because it's genuinely life-changing. It's like that gift that just keeps on giving, much like those life-changing emails that James sends out every Thursday. So if you enjoy Atomic Habits, if you follow James Clear, if you subscribe to him, he sends out an email every single Thursday, and it is just the exact dose of everything that you may need that day, and it will help you with habit stacking. So let me tell you a little story about Chris Paul. During my recent reading and research, I came across a fantastic story about Chris Paul, the basketball legend. He talked about habit stacking, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head. Chris Paul is an example of how the top 1% of successful professional athletes build remarkable habits. It's all about setting up one habit to lead seamlessly into the next, and it's all done very, very intentional. So I've reached a point in my life where I can proudly say I don't have bad habits. How did I manage this? The secret is in the way that I stack my habits, my daily habits of 7. I organize them in a way that each one is the perfect gateway into the next positive habit. I talk about these stackable habits all the time, and that's what I mean. You're not just going to change your world overnight, right? This is something that's a process, and there's a lot of pivoting and tweaking along the way. But I share with you inside of Tone in 10 my daily habits of 7 that you too can use that same idea, that same outline. So just to give you a peek into my habit stacking routine, for example, going to bed early is a habit that sets up the foundation for a productive morning. I power down in the late afternoon and evenings preparing to crawl into my warm, cozy, so comfy, feels like a cloud bed. And I did that with intention. Yes, I invested a little bit more money than I probably should, but you guys, my bed is awesome. Make your bed awesome. So I climb in there typically between 8 and 8:30. I've adjusted my bedtime slightly according to the season and the sunset time, and usually following kind of natural light cues. But adequate sleep gives me the perfect head start, ensuring I wake up early, typically around maybe 6:15, with at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep under my belt. To make this happen, I intentionally wind down my mind, focusing on purposeful thoughts in the evenings. This too is a habit. And it doesn't stop there. Every habit seamlessly flows into the next, like a beautiful chain reaction. I've got habits like daily exercise, intentional focus hours, managing my thoughts and emotions, creating a daily routine, and making every action easy. So I'll be the first to admit that none of these habits were born overnight. They all started as new habits at some point. And the point here is that when you want to create change in your life, like adopting a morning exercise routine, you're already setting yourself up for success. So let's say that you want to exercise every morning. To make this a reality, you intentionally go to bed early for a good night's sleep. Then, before bedtime, you lay out your exercise clothes, making your morning routine even easier, autopilot, right? The morning after, you put on those clothes, grab your essentials, and head straight to your workout without even overthinking it. Remember that your life is actually created by your design. If you are doing things that you don't like doing, this is your choice. You have a choice. Even if you feel stuck in a situation, you have a choice to make a plan to get out of that situation. So my day has now gotten, for the most part, like a beautiful symphony of intentional actions and thoughts that I have prearranged. Everything is aligned with my desired feelings and results. My day doesn't just happen to me, I design it. I'm going to tell you a little story right now, real quick, about my mom. And she got her feelings hurt because I would say things like, well, Mom, if you need my help, I can come between, 12 and 2 on Wednesday. And she said that it made her feel like everything had to be rushed and that she didn't know how to explain it other than she didn't like it. And this is why I talk so much about boundaries. You guys, I love my mother so much, but what she doesn't understand is that I do run a business. I do work. Even though I'm at my home, I am working, and I still have all the duties of cleaning the floors, cleaning the bathrooms, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, cooking for my family, right? Like, I still have all those other things going on. And although I get to work from home 3 days out of the week for the most part, I'm on coaching calls. I am coaching women. I am building plans. I am writing new recipes for a recipe book. And when I tell you that I block out my time, I block out my time. And it's not to hurt anybody's feelings. It's not to make anybody feel a certain way. That is how I have designed my life so that I can function at the highest, most positive vibration that I can. I do things with intention. And if I tell you that I have an appointment at 4:00, it's because I have an appointment at 4:00. It's nothing personal. There's nothing personal about that. That is something that I have done and I am disciplined to do. I don't go into my day just kind of winging it. Like, oh, what are we going to do today? Oh, okay, you want to go here? Now, there are days that are set aside for fun and family time. That's not what I'm talking about. Right? I'm talking about business days with intention. So on a Wednesday, when my mom may need my help, I know that I have between whatever time that is, 10 and 1, 12 and 3, whatever it is, I tell her, look, this is the window that I can make that happen. Let me know your list. Let me know what we need to get done. And again, that's not personal. And so I had to explain that to her, that this has nothing to do with you and like me limiting our time together. This is my schedule that I do with intention. And it's the only way that I can be successful is to set these boundaries, not for other people, but for myself. I have to put myself first. I have to, not all the time, that sounds so ugly. I have to pour into my teapot, right? I always say that we cannot pour into teacups unless you fill your teapot first. So if you are in the season of watching your grandchildren and you feel like you might be being abused a little bit by, hey, mom will take care of them, mom will watch them, like you don't have your own life, you need to set those boundaries. And it's not against anybody. It's not to make anybody feel less than. It's not to make anybody feel a certain way. That's called respecting yourself and respecting your worthiness and your time to be able to pour into yourself. So I hope that doesn't come across as sounding selfish. It's completely a habit and a path to habit mastery. So again, you get to decide how to design your life. And if that's not the way you want to design your life, then don't do it that way. But you have the voice. You get to decide. Again, my day is scripted like a pretty beautiful symphony. That's the way that I want it to flow. Now, are there curveballs? Absolutely, all the time. And would I drop everything for my family? Absolutely. No questions. But if we're planning something, I get exactly what I want because of my practice of habit stacking. I always know what I'm going to do. I intentionally make everything easy for myself. I plan my day ahead, ensuring that everything I do is effortlessly aligned with my goals. So by habit stacking, borrowing my daily habits of 7, I consider it a complete blueprint for success. So this is the magic of habit stacking.
It's been a tough few years. Have you felt a little lost, fell off track, or maybe your life feels like it's been flipped upside down? Are you ready to get back on track with a simple jumpstart, the healthy way? The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil book is now available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It is a straightforward shortcut that tells you exactly what to eat and how to do this. The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil workbook and guide by Heather Newman will help you navigate a new healthy relationship with food. It will teach you which foods work for you and those that don't. This 7-Day Sugar Detox guide is meant to be a staple. It's not a one-time use only book. It's one that you'll want to keep coming back to over and over again for guidance. It's the permanent solution that you've been looking for. This guide is used as a resource to get you back on track when you fall off, and we all do. It's a journey, not a destination. So happy to hear how many of you are enjoying this book, getting massive weight loss results, and use it as a tool after those binging weekends when you've really whooped it up. It's the perfect, easy-to-follow guide. including a grocery list and meal planning recipe options for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. If it's not on the list, it's not for us. Be sure to grab yours today and grab one for a friend. The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil by Heather Newman is available in a paperback and a hardback version. Visit the website www.sugardetox7.com or simply find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble websites. Sugar is the devil.
So this is the magic of habit stacking. It makes living our dream life possible. It's like assembling building blocks of intentional actions, like one upon the other, so that every single aspect of your life becomes a reflection of your vision. So your life doesn't just happen, or doesn't have to feel like it's just happening. You know how I talk about that pinball machine? I've said this before, that sometimes some people live their life as if they are in a pinball machine, and like the ball's just like bam over here and bam over here and bing, bing, bing. And you never know where it's going to go next because you're just on defense all the time, reacting to everything that life throws at you. Instead, by using my daily habits of 7 or your own habits that you decide to stack, it's intentionally designing your life to be extraordinary. So let me leave you with this challenge. Take a closer look at your habits. Are they stacking up to create the life that you want to live? If not, consider reorganizing them, like setting up your day for success. It's not just a possibility, it is a reality waiting to be uncovered. So if you haven't already grabbed a copy of Atomic Habits and dive into chapter 5 to fully grasp habit stacking. Be inspired by the power that it holds and evaluate how you're stacking your own habits. Like, it might be time to redesign. If you're here listening to the #GetUnstuck podcast, I know that this is a part of your life right now and you're looking for answers. So I hope you enjoyed those little nuggets. And before I let you go today, I want to talk really quick about how I used to eat versus how I eat now. The reason why I want to touch on this in this podcast, even though it's not really about habit stacking, it is still part of my equation, right? Because nutrition and supplements is a huge part of what I speak on, what I coach on. It's part of my passion and purpose. And I created Tone Babe Wellness, where I help women in the second half of life feel vibrant, energized, and just figure out how to feel their very best and stay motivated along the way. I studied health coaching, life coaching, fitness instructor, fitness training, bar training, nutrition coaching, nutritionist, and I have many other certifications under my belt, which has led me here today with all of the tools to help women in the second half of life. So I created meal guides so that you can explore to see which path is right for you inside of Tone Online Studio. So I was always restricting myself until I realized while I was writing my first book, The 7-Day Sugar Detox, Sugar is the Devil by Heather Newman, that low calorie isn't always the answer. The quality of those calories really makes a difference, you guys. But by going through the process of actually doing this myself, someone who doesn't like to cook, someone who likes quick meals that I can make in like 5 minutes, right? With just a few ingredients that taste delicious, that is me. And I am here to help you. I didn't only change the way that I looked, but I also changed the way that I feel. So now I'm here to help guide you. The way that I eat today is more of an 80-20 approach, and I focus on how I feel and what actually makes my body feel like its very best. And I focus on how full I feel versus just emotional or mindless eating. So if you're looking to limit bloating and that fluffy feeling around the midsection in this second half of life, I changed my life through the way that I eat and the way that I move. And now I'm here to help you. So I want to help you feel better, limit inflammation and bloating, which I know can be so challenging in the second half of life, but I completely changed my life through the way that I eat, and you can do the same thing. So I'll help you figure out how to feel your very best too. I went from real low energy, drained and unaligned to more vibrant and energized, and I just stopped winging it. I stopped looking for just the lowest calorie option. I focus on how full I feel off of my 80-20 rule for the most part. Where do you get started? How do you get started? I'm going to tell you, and it's free. Inside the Tone Babe Wellness community, we actually start by walking. Yes, I know I just talked about nutrition. Yes, I am in the midst of creating. Did I tell you? I am in the midst of creating a new cookbook. It is called the Skinny-ish Cookbook. These meals are going to be meals that you can prep in 5 to 10 minutes. They might even just take that long to make completely. And your family's going to love them. My family's been sampling them. I've also created a little group of my cookbook crew that I'm going to be spilling out some of these recipes for them to try them and give me feedback to see if they're worthy of going inside of the cookbook. I'm so excited. I've been asked about this so much because those of you who really know me know that I love chocolate and I don't like to cook. So if you don't like to cook, you should write your own cookbook with ways and hacks to come up with easy, quick fixes that are healthy, that are in line with your macros or your calories. If you do calories with Heather, you guys, it's going to be mind-blowing because these foods taste so good. And I'm going to give you breakfast options, skinny-ish lunch options, and also dinner options. And I may throw in some other snacks. I'm not really sure yet. It's kind of unfolding. So come on this journey with me. You can go to glitteru.com/click here and click on my skinny-ish cookbook and become part of my tasting crew, I guess. The cookbook crew is going to get like the first examples or samples of the recipes, and you'll get to try them yourself. And then all I ask is that you tell me if you liked it, you didn't like it, and I'll tell you how many calories were in it and how much protein was in it. Okay? Deal? Please be a part of my little cookbook crew. I'm probably only going to have like a dozen people, like 12 women that want to help me. Go to glitteru.com/click here and you'll see the Skinny-ish cookbook. Click on that. There's a little form. Once you fill out the form, you'll be in my cookbook crew and I will be sharing with you the secrets behind the cookbook. Those recipes that make it are going to be up to you. So you get to decide, and I can't wait. But let me tell you how you can also get started for free on your own personal journey, okay? So you can do that to start to get some of the recipes from me. If you're a recipe girl, if you don't like to cook, or if you do like to cook and you want to cook healthy meals that your family will actually love, I got some secrets. You guys know that I had to figure out a way, and I'm doing it. So in Tone Babe Wellness community, we start by walking. You guys know if you're part of Tone Babe Walking, yep, you heard that right. Join us for free at glitteru.com/click here and start by just doing the 25-day free walking challenge. I'm here to help guide you. You'll get the support and the tools to keep you moving and grooving. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out with me today. I'm so excited that we've been so consistent with our Wednesday podcast, and I hope you have a fabulous day, my friend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Hey friend, thank you so much for listening to Heather's Get Unstuck podcast. Her goal is to help as many women as possible, and if this episode helped you in any way, you can directly impact Heather's efforts by simply sharing a screenshot of this to your social media or team. Also, if you're looking for additional support, feel free to find Heather on Instagram at GlitterU, her website at www.glitteru.com, and or join the free Get Unstuck community Facebook group.